Welcome aboard, everyone.
Wow. Welcome back to the Oasis Lawn and Order podcast. I am Andrew.
Hi, I'm David.
Yeah, and he's the hot dog.
Nice. And he's the RC Cola.
Sure. Happy summer.
Oh,
Happy
it is summer, isn't it?
It is. At the time of recording, it is early June, and summer has arrived in full force.
Oh, yeah. We've been flirting with 90s a few days prior, but we're in the thick of it now.
Yep, and humid. The swamp of Ohio right now. I saw a post on Instagram or something that said if you could describe your state using like 3 words or less, what would it be? And the first thing that popped into my head was corn sweat. With the heat, we've also got the humidity. The corn sweat really hasn't come out yet, but that's seen a big jump in turf diseases.
Yeah, absolutely.
This year we got away from a lot of them really early on because when we had the temperatures for them, the moisture really wasn't there, and we stayed a little bit drier during the spring than we would normally expect, but that I think helped with suppressing a lot of those turf diseases, and it seems to me within the last 2 weeks things are jumping off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've talked about within like our building, we had a walkabout style meeting that we had with the team that we were kind of going over this stuff, and we talked about the disease triangle, what you need, the pathogen, the host, which is the turf grass, and then we had, like you said, we've been missing the last piece of that puzzle, which is the environmental conditions.
Oh, yeah.
We now have it, as you said, and yeah, it really has taken off quite a lot.
It feels like we got away from red thread a lot this year. It came back really harshly just right there at the end, but now it's getting warm enough that we're even getting past that and we're going into the dollar spot, and the brown patch is definitely coming up. Something to keep an eye on. Obviously moisture regulation is the only thing we ever talk about, making sure we're not leaving plants wet overnight, wet for extended periods of time, giving them time to dry out during the day when we can control it. Crazy downpours in the middle of the day just over the last couple of weeks where we were getting, I think we got almost 2 inches of rain in a single day during the entirety of the day. So there's nothing we can do about that. But our retention, that's going to really get that moisture into our really heavy clay soils now. So that's going to retain a little bit of water.
There's only so much that we can do. I think it's really worth pointing out the fact that there are some diseases that will be kind of stimulated more if we were to use a really high nitrogen fertilizer, and could make things worse. That's one of the things that I really like about what we're able to do, is keep it very consistent. I've looked at other bags of fertilizer on the big box store shelves, and I'm seeing like 30s, and that blows my mind.
That scares me a little bit for a home applicator, I'm not gonna lie.
That's a lot of nitrogen that we don't necessarily need in some of these diseases, especially brown patch. That's one that, again, it kind of starts taking off with excessive nitrogen use. So making sure it's a slow release fertilizer, a slow release nitrogen source, which is usually going to be an organic based fertilizer, and also just proper cultural practices. So fertilizing is one of them, but then even just whatever you can do to keep the grass healthy, it's going to bounce back a lot faster. It's not going to be as affected by these diseases as it normally would or otherwise would be.
Well, and kind of on the topic of tightrope walking, there are certain diseases that do not like nitrogen, and there are certain diseases that love it.
Yes.
And so, with red thread disease, one of our first ones that we see during the season most of the time, that adding nitrogen can help. It can help diminish those, the side effects of that. But yeah, you talk about that brown patch, or one of the more damaging ones that we get around here occasionally, like Pythium blight. That one also really likes nitrogen. So kind of finding a happy medium where you can strengthen the turf enough to recover quickly versus not overdoing it to the point where you're making the disease activity worse itself.
Yeah, and Pythium blight's also one that, especially if you're doing some new seeding, which this time of year I would hope that most people are not, or trying to avoid doing any sort of seeding, but with that constant watering of new seed, and you now have the heat and all that stuff, Pythium blight is a huge issue, especially with juvenile seed, and all of that comes from the fact that, well, it's one of the true killers. When we talk about turf diseases, most of the time it's going to be, hey, it's going to be totally fine. Pythium blight's one where it's not necessarily going to be the case, but it's also not one that we see a whole lot of, which is a good thing.
And that's one, again, it is kind of rare, but it's one that I typically recall seeing most actively after long periods of drought. Then we get the rain, and if we're not watering in products, if we're not, we're keeping if you're putting down a 30% nitrogen fertilizer and that's not getting actually where it's supposed to go and it's sitting on top,
right,
then you get that moisture, which can help the pathogen to start doing its damage. Then it gets that influx of nitrogen. Then you're just basically giving a disease steroids right there to really take off. And so having, where we just got some information from the Ohio State University about the drought conditions in Ohio. We are not experiencing any right now,
which is crazy. Usually there's at least a section that is under some sort of drought stress, and no colors on the map, which I can't remember the last time I saw that.
No, it was really cool to see, which is all doing well for us. I mean, the plants, for the most part right now, everything is looking really, really good. We're a lot of green out here. This has been one of the kinder years from Mother Nature for what we do. Our turf looks great here. My own lawn looks fantastic. The few things that are going to start struggling though is actually our landscape plants. The trees and shrubs, we've seen a little bit of our major pests starting to tick up because they also really like the heat. So when we're looking at scale insects, we're looking at mites. Those really love the heat and they are really starting to rear up. So keeping an eye on those going around, you will see sometimes mite damage on a lot of our shrubs. Appears almost like a brownish rusty coloration when we're seeing it. And that can
bronzing is a really good way, like speckling, especially from far away. That's what usually catches my eye. And then when you get on it, as the name kind of implies, spider mite, some webbing. Right. So those, and that can be taken for drought stress to somebody who's not looking super deep, and with those spider mites and everything that are doing that, I mean, those are almost invisible to the naked eye, so you're not going to be able to pick it out. The webbing is a good way to look for them, but actually being able to find these damaging, insects and arachnids that are practically microscopic is really difficult unless you know what you're looking for. So finding that bronzing is a good sign that there could be something else going on instead of just the leaves browning out. Oh yeah. With the scale insects that we're seeing, you can get needle scales on conifers that will kind of appear as drought stress because you start working away from the tips on that damage and it starts to brown in towards the base, and that can also be misidentified if you don't know what you're looking for, and those can be really difficult because they are super small, very flat up against it. Our biggest scale that we see year over year here is cottony cushion scale on magnolias, which is really easy to see, which is nice. So that way you can identify it properly. White puff balls that don't look like they look like they shouldn't be there, kind of thing. So it sticks out like a sore thumb. And then along with that, some other diseases that they might be bringing in would be black sooty mold. Which is not really damaging to the plant, other than it's going to take away from the ability for the plant to photosynthesize, just because it's physically covering the leaf. But honestly, what I think is more of a negative effect, and maybe you disagree, but I think just a lot of the insects that it then draws in. So that black sooty mold is going to be there because of honeydew, which is what the scale secretes. So we have that's on the plants, the black sooty mold's there, but then that honeydew is a sweet, scented, I don't know about flavor. I've never tried it. I would recommend not trying it, but other insects do like it. So wasps, so stinging insects usually are the main thing, but even ants and other insects that you might not want around the house, they're going to be attracted to that too, all because the scale is there. And that's, I mean, we're right in the time frame where those are going. They started to develop a little earlier this year just because we had a slightly warmer spring. Do you think that there's going to be any sort of smaller population, or just better for us in the terms of we had a warmer spring to start and then it cooled off? To be honest, that's a good question. I'm not exactly certain if we'll have a smaller population on those. When we're looking at like where I'm seeing the effect of that cool down was actually with the crabgrass germination, because we got really warm. That germinated a little earlier than we would normally expect to see, but then we had a random freeze event where we actually got below freezing over just some random weekend. That frost definitely is going to impact the crabgrass and take that away. My biggest concern with the insects is actually on the other side. If they were protected, those generations stayed through that one random freeze that we had, has it been warm enough long enough for them to get another generation in this year and keep the population around longer in a higher volume? That's a good point. Because they don't like those cold temperatures, but if they were already up and moving and developing, anything that was protected stays over, and it's going to create
an extra generation, that's
or does it push it further into the year where we wouldn't normally expect insects to be really active, and they just are because their biological clock is now off?
Potentially. I mean, I think we're just gonna have to wait and see what the cool down looks like on the other side of the summer to really notice that. If we stay super hot like we did a few years ago when we were experiencing 90-degree temperatures in October, there's a chance.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a watch and wait thing. The team is on it. Everybody's communicating. We're finding stuff all over the place right now and taking that. So we're just gonna keep an eye out and see what we see this year.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience, I think, for all of us.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember growing up, it has nothing to do with insects or any of this other than weather. It was like I used to want snow on October 18th. That was when I wanted. I was like, man, it'd be really cool for snow to happen. And
why October 18th?
That's my birthday. I just feel it would be awesome to go out and play in the snow on my birthday. And now we're dealing with 90-degree temperatures. Granted, I moved a little bit further south, so it seemed more realistic back then. But a dreamer's got a dream, man. So, but yeah, you're right. Dealing with 90-degree temperatures in October is very abnormal, but it has happened. It's going to happen again. I mean, eventually. Hopefully not this year, but
I'm really hoping. We've had some warm years these past couple years. I'm really hoping that it stays away.
Although I do have sprinklers set up in my lawn, and I ran those just for a little bit this morning. We're supposed to get into the 90s today. I just wanted to kind of help at least the backyard, which is where we're most active in it. I'd help that out a little bit, ease it into the summer stress, but it's also going to end up turning into where I'm going to set up a lawn chair and I'll be in the middle of 2 sprinklers just soaking
waiting to go.
just soaking in the water.
We were talking briefly about just activities out here. Like I'm going to play a round of golf tonight and it's going to be 90.
91 is what I saw.
Yeah.
I no longer believe weather reports. I will believe it when I see it.
That's fair. We were supposed to be 90 yesterday. I don't think we quite hit that mark.
Very close.
Yeah.
Flirting with it, but very close.
And those temperatures obviously have ramifications for our ability to do everything, that we're doing, and we're going to have to slow down a little bit. For that heat, I am going to be worn out, I have a feeling, by the end of my day out and about today, and then all evening in the 90-degree weather. So
yeah, it'll be nice and swampy. It's all good.
It's nice and swampy.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio used to be a swamp. Not all of it, but
it's still a swamp at this point.
Well, do you know what swamp was here?
No.
The Black Swamp.
Really?
Not here in Cincinnati, but farther north.
Oh.
That's why if you're ever driving into the country roads up north and you're next to a cornfield or a soybean field, probably a cornfield, but the ditches there are scary.
Yeah.
Scary deep, and that's because they use those to drain the swamps.
Fair enough. It's funny. I've always had, conversations with people who live around the country. I've taken trips to Colorado, to Florida, wherever, and when people find out that I'm from Ohio, they always ask me if I've experienced their most extreme weather, right? So went to Colorado a couple years ago and went out for a ski trip. Love skiing. I had a friend who knew a guy out there, and he came out with this, and he was like, how cold have you ever experienced? And I was like, I mean, I've worked outside in negative 20-degree weather here. And he goes, oh, you know what cold is? I was like, yeah. And then we went to San Antonio 2 summers ago, and they're like, oh, man, you guys probably aren't used to this heat. It was 95 degrees in San Antonio when we landed off of our plane.
Yeah.
It was 94 degrees in Cincinnati when we took off. I was like, I think I'll make it.
I feel like it's the dad thing to be like, but it's a dry heat.
In San Antonio, it's not a dry heat, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
No, because they got the river
running
running through there. Phoenix is fine. You could be outside at 105, and it's normal because it's super dry. But, even down there, they've got, especially along the Riverwalk in San Antonio, it gets soupy like it does here.
Yeah.
So. But in the sports world, baseball has been a disappointment as of late.
We've had worse years.
It's Cincinnati. We'll pick it back up. I mean, we got 100 games left.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
We actually do have almost 100 games left. I think we're what, 65 in?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Another thing I have been seeing, because the U.S. is hosting the World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I do not claim to know anything about soccer, football. I have been getting videos of all of the Northern Europeans who are currently in Florida right now trying to deal with the heat, and it is cracking me up. The Norwegian team sprawled out on the ground looking like they need a stretcher. That's tough.
Can't handle the heat, stay out of Florida.
I'll try to stay out of Florida most of the time.
Yeah, me too. I'm just waiting until they see some alligators.
Yeah, that's fair. I like alligators. We have some World Cup trivia, and I am woefully underprepared for this.
Man, I'm really excited for this. This is when I come alive for World Cup soccer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which country hosted and won the first ever World Cup in 1930?
England. If we get it wrong, will you let us guess again?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I will say then Italy. Both of us are wrong.
Argentina.
Okay. Brazil. South America? Is it in South America? I know South America is not a country. Uruguay. Hey.
Wow,
Look at
nice.
that.
Do you want to do a foot high five for football? Nice.
Which country has won the most FIFA World Cups?
Argentina.
No.
England.
Brazil.
Yes.
Dang. Yes. All right. Foot high five.
5.
Come on. There we go.
How often is the FIFA World Cup held?
Every 3 years.
4.
4 years?
Yeah, like the Olympics.
Okay.
Foot high five.
Which country won the 1966 World Cup on home soil?
Germany.
Brazil. Portugal.
England.
Yes.
One time we don't guess.
Footy.
Footy.
Who is the only player ever to win 3 World Cup
Pele.
titles?
Dang.
Footy.
Oh, good job.
was-
Which major global conflict caused the 1942 and 1946 FIFA World Cups to be cancelled?
I think I have a guess as to one thing that may have happened around that time.
Was it the War on Earth?
It was the Second Great War.
The Second Great War?
World War II.
Wow.
Hey, now
Nice job.
history questions I can get.
Yeah. Which player scored the Hand of God goal?
I know this one. I know this one. I know
Hand
this
of
one.
God.
Oh God, because he definitely hit it with his hand.
Yes. But there was no VAR.
Yeah. Oh gosh, there's an M.
Is he actually the godfather of Messi?
Yes.
Wow. Marco?
I
What is
know
it?
this one, and this one's gonna bug me as soon as you say it.
So, Mariano?
Diego.
Diego Maradona.
Yes.
Nice, dude.
Which African country is the only one to have ever hosted a World Cup?
African
South
country?
Africa.
You said South Africa?
Yeah.
Is it?
Haha, yeah.
Who is the only player in history to have scored at 5 different FIFA World Cup tournaments?
Scored in 5?
Oh, dude, that's got to be Landon Donovan, right? I'm joking.
That's Kenley Jansen.
David Beckham.
No.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Nice, dude.
He's old, right?
Who's the older gentleman from England?
Harry Kane?
No, he's kind of bald. I don't know.
Kind of bold.
Lex
Yeah.
Luthor.
That's him.
Yeah.
He's friends with Superman. Who's your big sleeper this year for the World Cup?
Well, see, funny enough, when she was walking around, like asking people who they wanted to win, my first, I was just pulling stuff out of the air, and I said Ireland, and I don't think they're in it, so I was told to re-guess, and then I said Algeria, and they are actually in it, so I'm going with Algeria.
Nice, dude.
Though I think the odds are toward Argentina.
But who's your sleeper?
Algeria.
Not Algeria?
Big
okay.
time.
So
They have a great
sleeper
program.
being like, hey, they're not expected to win, but they totally could pull it out. Mine is Germany.
Germany.
Deutschland. I think that they're the sleepers.
They're
They're a
Deutschland.
sleeping giant.
Yeah.
I do agree with anybody who would say that if we didn't have the NFL, we would be much better at soccer on a global scale.
Yeah, probably.
Just saying. Well, thanks for joining us today. I think that's all that we have, and we would like you to like and subscribe. Up or down. I don't know where it's at.
We talked about conspiracy theories, and that was just a goofy, fun question. I need answers from both of you. What is your favorite word to say and your least favorite word to say? Because for me, my favorite word to say is tertiary. I don't know why, it's just fun. And my least favorite word to say, like the feeling of it, is Constantinople.
I like Francisco. Francisco. Just because that is sometimes just pops in my head. Thank you, Elf.
Yes. Shout out Will
And
Ferrell.
that's right. I'm sure he's watching. And
Long time
my
fan.
least favorite word.
Moist.
That seems
That is
like
a very popular one. Moist doesn't bother
moisture.
You always say moisture when you're talking about
Moisture. Oh yeah. Gotta really lean into it.
I don't know. Is there a word that you dislike because listening to it in an American accent?
Whenever I have to say water,
Water.
and they're like,
Water.
what did you say?
You want some water?
Water. Can you say it in the American accent?
Water.
Yes. Oh, this is actually
Water.
untapped content here.
Alright.
All right, well, that's it. That's my last distraction of
Cool.
the day. So
I like it.
David, Leanna, Leaf, good to see you. Yeah, like and subscribe.
Nameless.
Give us a name for our plant. We'll see you around town.
Adios.
Bye.